We recently watched one. What is the name? Falcon, Peanut Butter Falcon. It's just very sweet movie about a guy and they meet and they become friends, and it was very cute, but it was very like in my heart too. But the movie that I really like every time I wanted to keep seeing is it's a documentary. What the Bleep Do We Know?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
I just
Welcome
To another episode.
of
of
Driving to
Right.
Yay! With your favorite hosts,
Larry and Inelia.
And today we're going to be doing an Ask Me Anything with our expert panelist of the second hour.
Iliana, Rojero.
We have some questions.
Okay,
We really do.
I'm ready.
Okay. Tell us about yourself a little bit.
Okay. My name is Iliana Rojero. I'm the founder of El Método by Benz. I also am an architect. I'm a mystic. I'm an educator. And a coach life. And psychic meditation teacher.
Nice. You're also a
That's
mom
a
and
And a mom. Well, I wanted
Why?
to kind of compress it.
yeah.
But I'm a mom. I have a
Husband?
yes, a husband. I live very near to the Shaman Shack in Port Angeles. I moved here 4 years ago.
Nice.
One of my manifestations.
Nice.
Moving here to our tribe.
Yay. All right. So shall we start with the first question?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So tell me, what was the last book you read that had the most impact on your life?
No brainer.
No brainer?
No-brainer?
Interview with an angel
Really?
Interview with
Yeah.
an
Awesome.
angel by
It-
Inelia Benz.
by Inelia Benz.
Oh,
With your
that's
favorite
kind of cool.
Inelia Benz. It was like mind blowing. I guess because I have a Catholic background and you grew up with angels and it's part of your entourage. So when knowing your work and knowing that you have like interview with an angel, I wanted to know everything about angels. I was like, oh my God. And till this day, because we translated in Spanish, till this day, I keep finding little things like, oh my God, like things that you can get when, it depends of your awareness. So it's full of jewels and it's very lovely. And I think it was the first book that I get to know you better somehow, like another part of you.
Nice. Nice.
It was nice.
Very good. Do you have any other questions around that? No? Okay, we'll go to question number 2. What was the last movie you watched that you most loved?
Yeah, that,
Oh, that I must love.
Yeah,
that if your your audience was sitting here, you'd say, okay, let's go see a movie.
Yeah.
And this is the movie I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
It depends. I have so many. I have a Jupiter Ascendant. I love that movie.
Love that movie too.
Practical Magic. I love the movie. We recently watched one. What is the name? Falcon, Peanut Butter Falcon. It's just very sweet movie about a guy and they meet and they become friends, and it was very cute, but it was very like in my heart too. But the movie that I really like every time I wanted to keep seeing is it's a documentary. What the Bleep Do We Know?
Oh yeah. that's the
Oh,
movie.
nice.
I just love that. Like, watch it again. I
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
that's nice.
Sounds like we're going to have a good movie night.
Yes. Very good.
All right.
Right. Tell us where you were born.
I born in Mexico City.
Mexico City, that's a giant place.
Yes.
That's a big place.
Yes, a big,
You're a
big
city
place.
girl.
I am
huh?
a city girl.
Nice.
Well, I would say no anymore. But for a while,
Yeah.
yes, for sure, I consider myself a city girl. I born in Mexico City, and then eventually we moved to Guadalajara, which is now it's a big, big city in Mexico. At that time, it wasn't a big city. So I missed Mexico City. Eventually, I moved to San Francisco, and I get the city until it's like, no.
It kind of changed, didn't it? San Francisco from, let's say, the 80s or 90s
Big change.
changed.
Big change.
Like even in the 2000s, it started changing, and now it's unrecognizable.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. I think that was one of the facts that make us. I mean, there are many things that I recognize, like what did I wanted about the city, and then why I was always looking nature. Like even we live in the city, we were always looking for. Our vacation was like big hikes in the mountains where nobody fucking find us, things like that. And when I would come back to San Francisco, I would be a little depressed,
Oh, really?
a little
Oh.
like, oh, I miss the mountains, or like,
Yeah.
but you think you don't know what it is. And then
Right.
it's like, it's your vibration
Yeah.
and your frequency and all the other things.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, it's changed so much, right?
Plus, San Francisco have changed so much. Yes. For sure. We noticed the change radically. Like once all the Amazon, Facebook, and it was there being just populated really big, and it was at the beginning it was very friendly, and people in the street still say hi to you, and you go to the park, and everybody was very relaxed, and then become very snob, like very, very snob.
Snobby.
Snobby.
Yeah.
I remember a song like "Put Flowers in Your Hair, Go to San Francisco." Do you remember that song? Do you remember it?
I don't remember. I know there's a song.
Yeah, it has some words like that.
Yes.
Putting flowers in your hair. San Francisco, something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember the song, but I know everybody refers to the song.
Yes.
And I think it's because, like, when we move and you go to
Ashbury. Hate Ashbury.
Hey, Ashbury. It was like the vibe of the 70s.
Yeah, like the
very
hippies, granolas. Yeah, but it changed, didn't it?
It changed.
Yeah. I remember I used to live in California, and I would go to San Francisco quite often. Sometimes just for the day, we would go there, go to the pier. What's a pier?
Pier 39?
39, and or restaurants or the other places like the Chinatown and all those places. And it had a certain vibe. It was before all the big companies moved in. But then many years later, Larry and I went there, and we were walking from one area to another, and a couple of things really shocked me. One of them was the homeless people. Another one was like the road. It was like a typical San Francisco road. It was in the evening, and it was full of rats.
Oh.
And then there were people going bathroom in the street.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what just happened? Remember, Larry?
Yeah.
It's like, what just happened? I don't think this is what I know as San Francisco. This is a different place.
Yes.
We are back on a change of scenery.
Little change of scenery. Got chased out of the Nada portal by the Lemurians.
By the local life. It was very insistent. Anyways, we were in San Francisco.
We were in San Francisco about...
It's like if you were born in Mexico, then you went to San Francisco and you went to the city there again, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Where did you go to school?
I went to school in Mexico. So university was in Mexico, in Guadalajara. TESO. Institute. Okay, I cannot translate it right away in my...
You don't have to translate it. What was the name in Spanish?
Instituto Tecnológico de Estudios Superiores de Occidente.
Wow,
That's
really
very
cool.
Mexican.
Yeah, very Mexican.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love it.
Yes.
Is that what you decided on your career?
Yes, that's what I graduated from architecture in an architecture school. Yes. Yeah, it was a very beautiful building. The architects the architect department, it was like all nature and grass and big trees, jacarandas, the purple flowers, like big trees. It was very, very nice. I like it.
Is that what you went to? Was it because of the school? That's great. Why did you decide to become an architect?
Well, I wanted to be an educator.
Huh?
And my mom said, "Where are you going to find a husband?" And it's like, "You're good at math and you're good at drafting and you're very artistic. I think architecture." And then my current boyfriend was going to the same school too. And I was going to go to a school in Mexico City, near to Mexico City, to study, how you call it? In Spanish, you say artes plásticas, which is all
Applied arts.
applied arts. Yes. So that was the one I wanted to do, or design. But my boyfriend at the time, and we were very, very, like, we thought we were going to get married.
You didn't get married?
No.
Oh.
Finally, like, luckily, I woke up. I'm serious.
That sounds like a story.
There's a story right there.
Let's hear a little bit more.
Yes. Oh, the story? Yes. I mean, he was very, very handsome, and we were very attracted, like physically. It's one of those things, like the physical body, but we just, it was nothing. We have
Nothing in
in
common.
common.
Oh boy.
He was very snob. He's actually the first partner, KPMG. I think it's a big company. Like, so he's the very first the youngest company in Latin America. He's like some partner. So he's very driven. Like. And I want you to be always so pretty and in high heels with your red nails and
Oh my god.
And a wife is just for the display.
Oh, so he wanted eye candy.
Yes.
Arm candy. That was
Yes.
it.
You did show up
Candy.
in high heels. Nailed.
Oh, did you? Were you really
Well,
high heels and nails?
a lot of times, but
Yeah.
also I have my tomboy side.
And you
which
went
I like.
hiking too, right?
Yes. So when I joined architecture, it was all the opposite. It was all about dreaming and imagine and be very poetic. And he was like, "That's just wrong. That's not like that." So that's when I started. That was my fear waking up.
You're not exactly compatible.
No.
No.
So you didn't marry him, but you're married, right? And you have kids. Tell us about them.
Okay, Mike is my second husband. And
What about first husband?
Yeah, what happened to first husband?
first husband,
Like
it was
just a minute ago, it was boyfriend that I didn't marry.
Yes.
And you're at architecture school, right?
yes.
So where did the first
Okay.
husband come from?
So the first husband come from
Was he at school?
finishing-
Was your mom right?
no,
Oh,
No, she
No.
wasn't. She got it wrong. Huh?
mom got it wrong.
no. Yes, he got it wrong.
Where did you meet him?
My first husband here in the United States. It was in the 1995 when it was the crisis, like economic crisis in Mexico, and I have
Oh,
no boyfriend and no
Is that,
job.
is that when the pesos went from like 2,000
Yes.
to 200?
Yes,
Wow.
like bad.
Wow.
So I have
They
no
went
job.
so good or be bad,
For-
depending on which side of the line you were on.
Now I think it's a positive, right?
Okay.
Like it was a perfect orchestration
Yeah.
for me. So I moved here. My mom was living in the USA. She was being trained to open a franchise of nutrition products and things like that. So it's like, just come over, we'll have friends, we'll figure out something. And then, so I was working in Technicolor with my illegal name, Rosa.
I was wondering, how did you get from Mexico to the U.S.?
with my passport, I just came as a tourist. And then my mom find me a job with the friends from the church in Mexico. They have contacts here, and we met the whole family, and they were very nice. And it's like, "Oh, we're gonna help you. Yes, you can do things here." And And then I was working here. She's like, okay, you need a temporary fake social security number, and here is your name. And she's like, here.
They still do that.
Gosh, they do?
Yeah, I was hearing
Oh, wow.
that they were at the car dealers to try and get a car loan. They just keep trying different social security numbers till one works. Okay, that's good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That is a completely new world to me.
Yes, yes. So I was working there in an office as an admin, and
everybody called you Rosa?
no, they knew. Iliana. But so I was using just a fake social security number, but I put my name Iliana, and then but then you can see all the people because it was in a factory, so the people in the floor. So I was working in the office above, the looking beyond. Yeah. And then everybody like, oh, go, I'm going back to Mexico. I'm going back to Guatemala. And they will come back and their name was different. And I was like, but I thought that he was Herman. And they're like, no, it's Juan. It's like, but he didn't think he was Juan. It's like, no, it's a new ID. It's like, oh.
Wow. It's a completely... I mean, for me, new subculture. I had no idea that existed. Wow.
Yeah. And then I met my ex-husband there.
Your first husband at work?
Yes, at work. He was the cousin of the manager. No, not the cousin. The brother-in-law of the manager of the whole department of duplicating videos for Walt Disney and Warner Brothers.
Wow.
That was my first job.
Copying videos.
Not copying. I was just doing the admin thing, and then eventually.
What's the admin?
The admin thing was so you have these big papers when you take time, like the people working online, and I mean on the line because they're building. They were packaging all the videos, so they take time. Like, okay, how long it takes to open the box, put the videos and packaging, and how efficient and like all those things. So I have to fill up the forms and everything, and then put it into a computer and all that, and it's take all the paperwork to the admin office, to the headquarters. So I was in the afternoon walking with my papers, ding, 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 and then pass it to the girl, and accounting. Yes, and eventually she went on leave absence for maternity, and she goes, oh, what we want to do? And I was like, well, I didn't speak too much English, and I was like, oh, I can help. I see you how to do it. She's like, really? Okay, show me. And I was like, oh, yes. Okay, and she wrote a couple of things like, if you need to contact somebody, just do this. And if you need to contact somebody, just call this person. And like, okay, fine. And I was in the admin accounting department, just putting numbers in the computer.
Wow.
Excellent.
And then I was missing my family.
Yeah.
So you went back to...
I went back to Mexico. I was like, and that's when my boyfriend at that time said, let's get married. But I don't know. I wasn't sure. Like, oh, should I marry you now? Maybe. And then I just decided to marry. Like, well, I guess. Decision, right? And then we married. But yeah, it didn't work out at all. It was very different, cultural. Even he was like Mexican American. It's different, very different.
Yeah, the cross-cultural marriages are tough.
They're very tough. They're very tough.
So he was Mexican, but not Mexican? So
he was born here in the United States, Mexican. But also, sometimes the culture, like where he grew up, it was very different than how I grew up. And so it was a very... difficult to how you manage your emotions, your awareness, the level of support that you have received with your family as well, and how you interact with other people is very different. Like,
can you give an example of what you mean?
For example, he the mom was a widow and he remarried, and then so she was a single mom, but she was working like on the field, and so she have a different level of education. So it's different to when you treat your kids and how what you're supposed to do. Like it was tougher, and it's not. It's like tough love, I will say. You know,
Right.
different than my family is like supporting you to go and thrive and do it with more.
Oh, it's completely different
Yes, philosophy of like
life and how to
yeah.
raise children, how to
yes, yeah,
be.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
When did you realize it wasn't going to work?
Right away.
After you said, what's the problem? No problem, just do it. And then you're like, oh, no.
yes. I think well, I was young. Well, not that young, but I was
How old
like
were you?
20. I graduated 23. I was 23, and I got married when I was 25. So not very young, but kind of young.
Not young.
No, not young.
Not young.
No, not really young. But I mean, you try to do your best, and I was like, okay, maybe because I have so many ex-boyfriends, like they were mean and controlling, and I'm like, maybe I don't need that to be completely in love with someone.
Oh,
And then just
try this.
we love each other, we respect each other,
Yeah.
just try it. But then you're incompatible, and then it's not that love that you feel. And I
Yeah,
mean, we were married, and
you start with, when you
Yes.
fall in love with somebody, it's like, your dirty socks, you don't even know they have
yes,
dirty socks.
yes, exactly.
But if you're not even in love with them, it's like they start with dirty socks. Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
How long
Like-
did that marriage last?
1 year.
Oh,
There's a lot of dirty socks.
that's a lot of dirty socks.
Yeah.
So you didn't give up. You tried.
You tried.
Well, you know what is very interesting? So I was trying to have kids to fix me. Like, I thought
Well, that
maybe
might fix
it
it.
will
Oh,
fix it.
yeah. You
Well,
tried that,
sure.
didn't you?
But it didn't
No.
work. It didn't work. Like
Wow.
we didn't get pregnant, and until one time it was kind of like aggressive. He became like aggressive, and that's when I think, no, I don't think so. Like no, not physical anything. So I decided to like, okay, let's just. And my sister told me like, why don't you just divorce? Doesn't work. And I was like, what? Because I was Catholic,
Right.
and I was like, what you? I can I divorce? And she was like, oh my God, like, well, it doesn't work. So I went with a priest and talked to him. And he like, yeah, we don't call that marriage. No. And I was like, okay, great. Yeah.
So you got annulled then.
We gotta know.
Yes.
And then I was working in an architecture office,
Yes.
and that's when I met Mike.
So your mom was right.
My mom was right at the very end. Yeah.
Long, convoluted path.
Yeah, but you got there, huh?
So how old were you then when you met Mike?
I was
Architect.
20 when I was 26, 27, no, 26.
Wow.
But met him, married when I was 25, 26. Yes, I was 26.
No
Mhm.
dust.
Yeah, no, I
I
was
was
just
like, "You're
okay,
outta
done to
here."
business. Next.
Next.
It worked. Yes.
I guess you figured out you got divorced, huh? Jump right in.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Well, how did you even get a job at an architecture place from the movie place?
Oh, so I was working in the movie place, and then I went back to Mexico, and I was working as an architect. I moved to Los Cabos with my two good friends from.
Los
They were engineers.
Is that ocean? Ocean. Is that beach?
Yes, so like a beach town, party town, and I was like, woohoo! So then I was preparing the wedding, but I was working as an architect there, and then I moved. When I moved back, after I got married, I was working in the same industry. My ex-husband, he was the director of one of those departments too, in a different company in the Bay Area, because that one was in Southern California. So we moved to the Bay Area, and I was working for the architect that he was. They were building a new manufactory in El Paso. So I was just doing plans and little changes here and there, but it was very boring. So I was very good friends of the IT guy, and he was from Honduras. And all the afternoons, because the architect never was there. He was always in El Paso. And I was nothing to do. And I cannot talk about the project because it was secret.
Oh,
no.
boy.
All these things. And then, so I was always walking over there to IT, and we were chatting about everything. And he was very fun and very nice. And he said, "Oh, you know what? My sister-in-law, she just had a new job in this new company they opened just recently, maybe a year ago. Why don't you give me your resume and then I can send it?" I'm like, "Oh, sure." So I work on my, you said resume? Or?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I work on my resume and I send it, but I didn't hear anything from like it was a month or two and nothing. And so I say, "That's it. Like, I'm going to Mexico." So I went back to Mexico. And my ex-husband said, "Well, they're going to revoke your citizen thing and blah, 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 because you're not supposed to leave the country." Like, I don't care. I'm leaving.
The green card, yeah.
Yes, the green card. I'm leaving. So I left. And that's when I was working in Los Cabos. And then I come back. I get married. We got married. Then I went back to Mexico. Oh, no. We were married. Wait. We were married.
I'm getting confused.
I
Who's
came
married
back.
to who around here?
Yeah.
Yes. It's because
You
I
went back to Mexico.
I went back to
after you
Mexico.
got married.
Yes, I was after I got married. And then eventually he called me like, "Well, they call you from the architecture firm. You want to come?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, you should just try it. Maybe it's just a good exposure for you to go." So I came back and I went to the interview and they hired me. I didn't even speak Spanish, but I'm like,
English.
English.
That's
So
great.
Yeah.
you're married, and then you went to Mexico.
Yes.
Yes.
And then in Mexico, you applied for a job at an architecture firm in San Francisco.
It was I applied when I married.
You're married to.
I was married to
your
my
first
ex-husband. And then I applied for a architecture firm, not in San Francisco. It was for the first office that was in Mountain View, which is in Silicon Valley.
Okay, so Bay Area.
Yes, Bay Area.
Area,
Mhm.
So you come up for an interview because you left your husband.
And-
He's like, "I don't like it here. I'm leaving."
So yes, so I couldn't hear. I didn't hear from the interviewers. So I went back to Mexico because I was bored. I was like not happy. I went to Mexico and I was working there. I was gonna work there
Then your ex-husband
and then
talked you into coming back for an interview.
come back. Because they called me. They called to the
He must have liked you then, huh? Like,
Yes.
maybe you come back.
yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of course he liked. So I came back and I got the interview. And then I was working there and it was very super nice office. I was learning a lot. Everything was new for me because the construction system is very different here.
Mhm.
So I have to learn everything. And we were working for all the companies in Silicon Valley. We did Yahoo and we did all the
Wow, must have been a lot of work going.
Stanford, the medical school, all those, and Bayer, all the tech,
it's-
high tech and pharmaceuticals we were. So it was
So you were kind of
very
like the
nice.
perfect architect, perfect job, perfect location, lots of building.
Mhm,
You were like
mhm,
in the sweet spot.
mhm.
Nice.
And your ex-husband wasn't there?
Then that's when I
Got divorced.
I got divorced because he was not working. And then it's a very long story. It was just
I
a
wanted to
lot.
get an idea. It's like
It was just a lot of lies that he pulled, like, and I discovered those
Oh,
lies, and I was
no.
like, because when I was in Mexico preparing for the wedding, I asked him, "I'm not sure about Mary. Why don't you come and live here? Because I feel like I'm missing my country and my family and my friends. Why don't you just give me a time?" And he was like, "Oh, I've been working here so hard for you," and blah blah blah, and crying and everything. So it really, like, maybe I'm making a mistake.
Yeah.
I thought that I was missing the opportunity,
Right.
and I thought that I was confused because I was missing my family and friends. So I said, "Okay, let's go." So yeah,
So thanks for
everything was-
trying.
Yes.
So then you met.
Then I met Mike, and yeah, and he's very sweet, super sweet, and very
Two
different.
kids later.
2 kids later. 2 kids later.
When did you wake up? Do you remember the moment or situation that brought it about?
Yes. My brother passed away.
What year was this?
That was 1990. No, 2000. 2001. 2001. Well, my first awakening, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he passed away, and he was always talking to me. We were supposed to do a business furniture because he was a very good designer. And that was right before I married Mike. I was with Mike already, and he passed away. But before, he was always talking about reincarnation, talking about expansion of awareness and the shamans. He was always in the shamans in the mountains and all these different things, different of a Catholic. And I was curious, curious, but it's like, I don't know, like what to say. Once he passed away, I wanted to contact him, and that I was dreaming with him a lot. So I decided, like, okay, I need to know what is this about, because he's keep contacting me and showing on my dreams. So I asked one of my aunts, and she said, "Oh, yeah, you should meditation." And then I look, and I went to the psychics. That's when I went to the psychics, and they read your aura and your past life and all these things, and everything was like click, click, click.
Yeah.
And then there were many classes about healing, about existence, about everything. I was like, what? Like literally, I was so deep into this new world of, reality. Like, and then eventually I watched the movie. What the bleep do we know?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what I'm learning. I was trying to explain Mike, like, that's exactly what I'm learning. You should know that your mind, and you can create in these different realities and all the things, and you can just change your perception and you become and all that. And he was like,
cool.
oh.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And in the road there, in 2010, 2011, another aunt from Mexico, she said, "Oh, you should know about Inelia Benz. She's in Sacramento. She lives in California. You should go and meet her." And we're like, "Wait, what?" And she sent us look at this video. She sent us an interview in Spanish, actually.
Oh,
And,
yeah, I did a few interviews in Spanish.
Yes, so that's the first interview I heard. And then eventually we were Googling you, and we found the interview, the famous interview.
Yeah.
Bill Ryan.
Big
The
Ryan,
Avalon.
the Avalon. We were like, what? Oh my God. It was very different. Like many things that you say, it was just a click. Like, wait, what? And like, you don't understand exactly what it is, but it was like a resonance thing. Like, oh, I know this. Like, like you wanted to know more. And then rules of engagement, that was like, mind blown. Yeah, and then you can't stop.
Yeah, I know. Once you start, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you wake up, then you go down the rabbit hole, and oftentimes on the way down the rabbit hole, you go down these strange paths that lead to maybe not the best place. Did you ever have any of those rabbit holes that went to the
Wrong
wrong
place.
place?
Well, let me see. No, kind of not that I went to the rabbit hole, but I was very involved with my community, with the psychics, and then there were like certain things that they started not resonating, and I was questioning all the time, like, why this doesn't make sense? This doesn't make sense, and eventually you get clues, like, okay, this is not the place I need to be. Like, okay, I need to get out of here. Not get out of here, but it's like, no, I can't grow. Like, literally, you fit like that's it. Like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. But not like going to a rabbit hole, like thinking about.
Well, that's kind of it. You know, you hang out with a bunch of psychics and you start going sideways. It's like this isn't right and this isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like it can make you can some people can like then, you know, like with a bunch of psychics you become dependent on the psychics. So you know
Yes.
which job do I take, which guy do I like, which
Yes.
ice cream do I prefer? All of these questions pretty much become dependencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that can take you down a strange road. It's like
Yes.
you find yourself eating vanilla ice cream and you like chocolate, for God's sakes. Psychic told me I like vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's there were a couple things that what I noticed, and in general, like for example, the victim aggressor cycle, it's very embedded, and it's like because at some point I was like, we have this they were called erasure lectures, so you meet twice a year, and it's like it's just to kind of delete beings from your space, but you meet every year, and they're there, and then you work the same thing and same thing. And at some point I was like, wait a minute, where is this gonna end? Like we have to do it and do it. It's like, wait a minute, something is not doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like what do you have to like here perpetuating this clean, clean, clean? It didn't make sense. So that's when kind of like one of the clues that like no, not really. And the other one it was like labeling people, like not allowing them to grow. It's like, oh, these people is just like that. Kind of it's this that's what it is. And I was like, no, not to me. It's like, yeah, it can be, yes, where it is, the person at that time, but doesn't mean necessarily that. But it was just so much that within the community, it wasn't allowing that person to grow because it was just keep it there. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. It's like a person gets labeled and they're not really then free to move out of that box.
Yes.
Right. By social interaction.
Yes.
Yeah. And our last question before we do our second hour. And where do they find second hour? Do you remember? Driving to the rest.com.
Yeah, that's right. DriveToTheRest.com.
Yeah,
of course.
How did you end up sitting here today talking to us?
Wow.
It's the last time I remember you were working at architecture in the San Francisco,
area?
right?
Yeah.
Bay Area. You have a beautiful house in San Francisco somewhere. You have kids. You have a
You have
husband. I mean, basically, you got everything on a silver platter, right? How do you end up sitting here? We're 1,000 miles away from that.
Well, I was always been a member of What With Me Now, but I was like behind the scenes, like always, doing the homeworks and the things. I was very scared about the technical, how to handle the forum. It was too much. It was like, oh, it was no, too overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Until I asked a question. You sent up my homework about gratitude, and then you say something about don't thanks for the bad things that happened to you. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what? But because I was practicing Ho'oponopono, and they say, oh yeah, just say thank you for everything.
Yes.
So I was like, wait, what do you mean? And then I was to the forum because I needed that question to be answered.
Right.
So, and then it was like, when you put a drop of paint into something and it takes out like,
Oh, yeah.
It was like that. The forum was full of information, and I was like, what? And then there's so much information about so many things. It was like I have all these tabs open all the time because I wanted to know about this and about that. Deeper conversations.
Right.
And that's what is interesting about What With Me Now, because of course you send your letter and you think, but it's just only one perception, right? Like just you thinking with the dialogue with the article. But when you hear other people's question, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Wait a minute. Yeah, oh yeah, what about that? So it really opened up your awareness, and you start questioning things that you're not even conscious about it.
Right. questions that you don't even know you have.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And that you assume like that you know it, and
Yeah.
oh no, I didn't. Yeah.
Not exactly right.
Yeah. After that, I knew about there was a retreat. It was gonna happen, but it was too soon. It was like the next month. I was like, no, I'm not gonna make it. And then it was right away. There was another one.
Yes.
2017,
I think.
The 19,
Oh, the 19 one?
2019.
Okay.
The brooms.
Oh, yeah, the brooms.
Brooms.
The brooms of Gaia.
Brides and
Brooms of Gaia.
grooms of Gaia.
Right,
Yes.
Brooms of Gaia. So I signed up right away. I was like, oh my God, yes. Like I want to come.
That was
And-
excellent.
Yes.
It
We
was
saved
really
all
good.
those fish.
We did. We saved
Yes.
the
And we
salmon.
designed the no portal.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
there.
It's not there. And at the same time, you open up for mentoring. It was and I was like, of course I want to do mentoring. But it's all the
There's
list, the limits.
List.
Yes.
Yes, here, yes, sure. And when I was here at the Shaman Shack during the retreat in 2019, I got very lit up. I didn't even know about what. I just felt very uncomfortable. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? And right there, I woke up 5 in the morning,
yeah.
fill up my mentoring application. Like, I want to know what's this. I want to just feel good, right? And thriving and like fill my application. Okay, mentoring.
Nice.
Then, of course, I wanted to be your student. I mean, it's like, I cannot even describe it, right? Like all the information that you share and the awareness that you bring, and that it just being near you is a challenge. Like my programs comes, right?
Yes.
So-
I've seen that.
Yes.
Many people. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it's a good sign that, okay, I need to work on this. Oh yeah, I need to still working on that thing. And but also I've been exposed to that energy of the joy I love. Like this, like you're like everything is perfect. It just disappear. Driving back home, and so I'm
Yes.
like
Cloud nine.
la, 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 la. So yeah, and
It was too far to drive from San Francisco. Huh?
yes,
Okay.
no way. There's no way. And yeah, in my mentoring, that was one of the things that we wanted to move and our limitations.
But it's
Like-
beautiful.
and
around here. isn't it?
Here is just amazing,
Stunning.
stunning. So hopefully one of these days we'll make it all the way here, working with my co-creators.
Well, you're
Um,
pretty close. You still have the city.
Yeah.
Feel like you're in
City
the
girl.
city and in the country. You're not quite San Francisco. Port Angeles is not San Francisco,
No.
but
Nah.
they do have Costco's.
The those. Very
Yes.
close.
Kinda close.
Yeah.
I definitely would prefer to live here. I'm not. I think it's more challenging for Mike. Like he's like, okay, what would it be, or the kids and stuff like that. But I can definitely live here.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, thank you for being open to exploration, getting to know each other, and our audience gets to know you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a much better appreciation for how you became an expert panelist.
Yes.
Right? You have plenty
Yes.
of experience.
Yes.
Lots of experiences and cross-cultural
Yes.
Knowledge,
knowledge and
background.
wisdoms.
Yes. I've been through a lot of things. I mean, not like dark things, but through many experiences.
Lots of
I feel
experiences.
like, oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
You are an expert.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yep,
you.
thanks.
Thank you.
See you in the second hour.
See you
We'll
in the
see how
second
our
hour.
other expert panelists.
What the questions
What
they
can I
have
ask
for
them?
you.
Not to mention, you did post a little like pre-request, a request for questions, right? Where did you put that?
I put it on Telegram, on Instagram, and on Facebook.
Right.
Yes.
So if you're hearing this, you probably missed it.
Yes.
Probably.
But if you're connected with us, go check Facebook, right? Go check Telegram.
And all of those questions.
All those questions that are gathered there from that post, we'll work on those on the second hour also.
Yeah. See you then.
Okay. see you
Bye.
then.
Bye.
Inelia asked me about like, oh, I heard you're planning to move here. And I said, yeah, sometime, like 3, 4 years, 5, maybe 10, like very vague. And she asked me like, why not now? And I was like, well, because my husband's job and like what we're planning, and like I'm fixing the house so we can rent it, and then eventually I can tell him that maybe it's time to move and we can have more income, like all this going around, right? And then she says, so does he know that you want to move?